I think it's a very interesting, question, I would say. And there could be like a multiple answers to this part, but I can tell you my experience about that, right?
Right.
First thing first, I can assume is that I think as a PM, you need to be open for a variety of the topics, right? The first important thing is to like keep in mind to wonder about everything, not just on the job, but your daily life. Have an open mind about the new concepts, whether it's like ideas, whether it's a people, place, things, wonder about everything, consider everything, right? I would say be like a philosopher if you can, right? So
Mhm.
why I'm saying this is because a PM combines a lots of things in order to make meaningful progress, right? So can be like interested of the lots of different topics. So
Right.
once you start, hearing about you thinking about the problem statement, different news, different topics, I think you can start having a kind of opinion for you, right? And as a PM, I think this is very important that you should have some kind of opinion out of it, right? So the second piece, I would say that look for a deeper meaning, right? Don't just take a surface insight, right? Don't just assume that obviously I spent like 5 minutes in reading the topic somewhere in newspaper, Twitter, internet, and I think I know what's the deeper meaning of it, right?
Mm.
So you have to go deeper meaning behind everything that you see, that everything that you hear, right? And there's a lot of subconscious reason for human behavior, I would say. Like lots of history trends repeats itself, right?
Mm.
So don't settle on the surface. Don't settle on the surface. Think deeper, and then I think and it's all about thinking that how can we improve the entire thing. So third piece would be like how can you optimize the stuff? How can you think that it can be improved, right? So once you start interacting, once you start thinking, then of course you can have some opinion that hey, these are the five problems. These are like three problems which I can think so, right? And might be possible these three can be like something which can be a game changer for this product, and it can solve the consumer problem. Because as a PM, at the end of the day, you are solving a business problem, a consumer problem. You are bridging a gap out of it, right? So it's very important that you go deeper, you have some opinion, think about how can it can be improved, and don't assume that say I have like five features. So if feature A, feature two, feature three, right? So don't assume that if some company is not able to solve that problem, I think they are not thinking in the right direction, or this is something is not something which I am also thinking in the right directions. So you have to think like what may be going on that is venting the product team of the particular company for making these changes. So I think go in that direction. It can give you a lots of insight. To determine like what's how to think from a different perspective. There could be like business hindrance, there could be like a consumer hindrance, there could be some economical hindrance, you never know. But the moment you think that why someone is not doing this, which I can think of, it can give you lots of sense of the multiple variety of things, right? So idea is that as a PM, don't be in rush, first of all. Second is that you have to be very patient and trust on the data, right? And to get the data, you have to do lots of researches sometimes, right? And the most important part I would say is that think from the business perspective also, because at the same time you are thinking from the consumers, but you are there to bridge a gap, right? Just try to understand like what all things quick wins, what all quick wins can get you the business to the like some different layer, right? Just try to understand which are the low hanging fruits, which are the quick wins for my product and or for for the things which I'm thinking for, right? And then try to maximize impact in the shortest amount of time, right? I would say for the PM, for the aspiring PMs, always ask whys, right? Because the moment you ask why, it can give a lots of sense of clarity that hey, why exactly? So, for example, if you wanted to be PM, why exactly do you think that you wanted to be PM? Why do you believe that he is going to use this product? Why the product is built in that way that we are using it, right? So try to again get a deeper level of why, and then it will start. Sometimes if I mean, at some time you feel that I have an answer. So having said this, I think I would say the most important one is part is also is that have an empathy, right? Be kind to the people. Sounds like we have all the skills and we know how to be kind to the people, but the idea is that listen actively, right? Don't try to be judgmental, right? Try to understand what's the problem statement of the users, what are the pain areas. It may be
Right.
your family, it may be your friends, it may be your co-workers whom you interact, anyone, right? So be having empathic way so that you can understand what exactly the sentiments are about this product or about the consumers, right? And then only you can have a different mindset altogether. I would say as a PM, you can always have a different approaches. Don't stick to the plan one, right? You can have a 1, 2, 3 plans, right? Just think that what plans is going to be work like really well from the organization point of view, from the business point of view, on multiple things, right? So consider the alternate approach. Hey, plan one requires 10 resources, X amount of dollars to be invested. Plan B requires some Y amount of dollars to be invested, 10 resources plus 10 resources more. So the moment you have a multiple options, then of course, as a person, as a human being, you can be able to understand the problem statement much more and able to pick the right approaches for you, right?
Right.
The last thing I would say that just make your decision making muscles very strong, right? Make more decisions, make quick decisions, right? And I'm sure this. What I'm saying is that for making a quick decision, of course, you need a data. You need to have some confidence out of it. That requires a practice. It cannot happen over the fly, or maybe after reading one kind of tutorials or something like that. That requires a lots of things you have to be learned over the period. But the fact is that as a PM, once you're making the right and quick decisions, I think you are in the right shape for your product, for your business, and then you are moving ahead in the right direction, right? So I think
Right.
that's a thought I would say as a any for the aspiring PMs or existing PMs should have, so that actually they can think in the right directions. Because I come from technology background, transited to the product management, and trust me, as I think Shikha was mentioning that the most of the technology folks are in execution mode. But as a PM, once you are in a different boat, it's altogether different game. You have to think about your consumers. You have to think about all the stakeholders which you have. At the same time, you also need to add the value to the ecosystem. It's not about just solving one problem for maybe n number of time. So, so I think that's a thing that probably how it can be like move in the right directions as a thing, and it will help you to understand like how to think like a PM. And this is how we actually think whenever we are in the job.